it. What are we gonna do?
Grim. That's how it looks.
I'll take Grim right now.
I am the Grim Reaper.
Bit grim.
Some bosses are good.
And make it grim.
A grim tale indeed. It's a little grim.
Meaningless and grim.
It's the Grim.
It's Grim.
Pretty grim, huh?
Things look grim.
War. War never changes.
I just want to talk. Blue moon, you saw. It's all over. There'll be blue purple. Have a cup of tea. Oh, the sexy baby's rolling with the boop-a-lack-a-wee. Thunder is steady roll and the clock strikes 4. Everything stops for tea. Tea. Oh, a lawyer in the courtroom in the middle of an elevated scene. And stop the album ball when the clock strikes 4. Everything stops for tea.
Right, hello everyone. It's got someone new possibly wanting to join in. Let me just check whether they are actually available and see if we've got any character spare. I think we do. Who wants to earn an extra XP by recapping?
Boy. All right. Since everyone else is muted, I'll go. Let me see if I got it. We left Applewhite after, and we looted the grocery store. Or Applewhite was that was the mayor. Hold on, let me get my notes. It'll make it better.
How organized.
Yeah. Didn't think I'd be recapping right away. So the Vault Dwellers were sent to triangulate or link up a signal with the big satellite that was outside the crater under the vault. We got the satellite signal in Berry, as well as the town overrun by whites. There we found a weird farm to the east, I believe, and then to the southeast we encountered some radcoats. One of our vault security officials threw some debris at them, and that was quickly diffused as an accident, even though it wasn't. And we then, once we got our last signal, we got orders to procure a vehicle. And don't know, it might be missing something here.
I can only fill in the very broadest of broad strokes. So the first encounter with the Radcoats was at a radio mast, kind of decaying radio mast, where the Radcoats were kind of camped beneath it in a couple of disguised foxholes. And the next location we went to was the Gallows, with the rather peculiar RSM personality, robot guardian. And from there it was made clear that the next part of the process required a lengthy journey, and we discovered from the villagers in the living in the shadow of the radio mast that their lords, for want of a better term, might have that sort of thing, or certainly seem to be powerful enough. So we went to them. They were hidden behind a some type of shield device. And they basically said, yeah, maybe, but it's a quid pro quo, and we haven't quite found out yet what the quid is for the pro quo of a working car.
Yeah.
I forgot what we talked to them about. It was the car.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I think they also said that we could bring them parts, or if we needed assistance with assembly.
Yeah, I think that was the deal. If you bring them the bits, they can put something together for you. Though transporting all the bits of a car is quite a challenging prospect in and of itself. But there was that car showroom and body shop south of the crater with that crazy robot protecting it. So that might be a possibility. So let me just bring up my notes and drag the window over here. All right. We'll say the others who are the players are variously sick, or it's just a bad time of year for them. Yeah, that sort of thing. So we'll just say that the other characters have gone off on some other secondary mission for the vault, maybe to find fuel for the vehicle. They'll try and return with either some, that's a plot element that will come up. Either some atomic fusion units or some petrol or equivalent for you to run whatever vehicle you manage to cobble together in the end. So we'll say that you have retired to the little village that serves the masters beyond the shield. They don't have an inn or a tavern or anything like that, really, but you can at least stay there and get some water, and maybe if you've got anything to barter with, they might be able to provide you with a bit of food. You can have some sort of roof over your head while you decide on your next move. So the others in your party, they're wrist devices, which name I'm gone. I'm really fuzzy brain today. Sorry. Yes, so Pit Boys ping and go off. They look at them, get their extra orders, and divvy up the supplies between the two groups. Arrange to rendezvous back here in a couple of days. Should be able to transfer messages over the vault's communications web now, at least within some distance of the crater, so you should be able to send messages back and forth if need be. Everyone says their goodbyes, hearty handshakes and hugs as necessary, and then they head off on their mission to find the fuel, leaving you three muggins to get all the parts and transport them across the radioactive British countryside back here somehow. So, what's the plan?
Now, I might be having a stroke here, but did I remember that somebody had a cow? What did I miss? Or am I having a stroke?
Yes.
Yes.
No, yes to the cow, not yes to the stroke.
Right.
The ghoul cafe owner had a cow meal thing.
Oh, right. So we can just assume that they're taking that and loading it up with jerry cans or something, and they'll take that with them.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I was thinking similarly. We could procure like another cow or some kind of beast of burden to pull a cart full of parts, or maybe a few.
Yeah. So you'll have to get enough together for a cow or some other beast of burden, and a cart from somewhere.
We can for the cart, I mean, there's lots of wheels, lots of shells of cars at the car park, so that wouldn't be too difficult to kind of jerry-rig some kind of cart situation. It's a lot more difficult to jerry-rig a full-on automobile, but just something that we can hitch to an animal and roll it over. I mean, that's something we could try to do. Biggest obstacle. Our biggest obstacle is that crazy robot that turns people into automobiles, and we have a smaller party, so it might be worth creating some kind of plan of attack. What do you guys think?
Sorry, I'm just going to go back a step. Do these villagers have any beasts, or are they working everything by hand?
So they are primarily doing agriculture by hand, but they do have a flock of big, ugly-looking sheep.
I'm sure there was somebody in mythology who had a chariot drawn by sheep, wasn't it? Goats, wasn't it? Norse
Drawn by
mythology.
goats.
Yes.
Yeah. Goats, sheep, same thing.
Yeah, exactly. But they're going to want a serious price for them. They're not going to let go their wool and milk.
Yes, and meat.
Yes, for trivial sums, right?
Mm.
Did we know of? Well, I guess the people behind the farm, they could. I mean, they seem like they've got scientists, someone who could fix that robot, so it stops trying to turn people into cars and just can work on cars again.
Yes, I mean, I got the sense that they're not so keen on just helping some strangers that come up there. I think if we take out the robot, and then we can figure out, I mean, we'll have an entire car park. Maybe they'll come and gather the parts. Maybe we could, once that's squared away, return to the dish or return to Barry, see if we can get something from there.
I'm gonna have to sit outside if we go back there.
Yes, you are outcast.
Otherwise, seems like a solid idea.
Yeah, and we might not even, if we can make some kind of cart that has 4 wheels, it'll be, well, not fun to push all the way across this distance, but we have something we could, with some determination, get done.
You'll need tools to put the cart together, but then if you can take out the robot, you'll have access to all his tools and attachments. So, that part of the problem seems to be tied up with the robot and the body shop again. I mean, if you can find tools elsewhere, you could put a cart together from various car hulks on the roads and, in fields and so on.
Now, for that robot, I got the sense that it wouldn't be great at climbing. If we could get some high ground, possibly even get on the roof of the building, or if there's like a truck, something where we can get high up and just kind of take shots at it, that could be the safest option.
In my brain, I don't know why, but I pictured this as a sort of single-story, the car showroom. I'd pictured it as a kind of single-story, flat-roofed sort of thing. Is that accurate?
Yeah, most of it's single-story. There is a slight raised part where the offices would be above the workshop, but otherwise it's a sort of flat, curved, Frank Hampson illustrated sort of car showroom.
Yeah. So and I don't. Did we remember whether we saw any kind of obvious access point, any kind of ladders bolted to the walls, etc., or are we going to need something up there?
Dumpster that goes halfway up, we can scramble.
You're fairly sure there was a fire escape attached to the outside of the building, which only makes sense because you wouldn't want to get trapped up there if something catches fire in the garage.
And was it like literally a sort of an iron staircase fixed and in situ running from the roof down to the ground, or was it one of those ones where you can kind of divide it in two and haul the bottom half of it up?
It's a proper sort of zigzag staircase, but it was encaged so that people couldn't get in at the bottom.
Right. So the problem we're going to have is if we use that, there's nothing to stop the robot using it in exactly the same way.
Yeah.
It's if he can climb it.
He didn't seem terribly good at stairs. He kind of moved like Marvin the Paranoid Android in the original 80s series. You know, it's like or Ivor the Engine, I suppose.
And, you know, even in the event that he does somehow manage to start climbing, if we're already up there, we can just sort of, you know, shoot him as he climbs, gun butt down. We'll have a really good position over him.
So the car park was mostly cars, which he'd stripped all of the parts out of. So just leaving the sort of chassis and the shell. There almost certainly were a couple of vans, which are a bit taller, and a couple of lorries in the same park. So those would give you some height if you scrambled up those.
So if we approach, do you guys think we should try to get up the fire escape or climb on top of some vans?
I can fire at him from the roof. But all I would need is the fire escape. I'd rather keep him away from the cars because an explosion could take out the whole lot.
That's a good idea. We can lure him out. He's gonna first try to sell us a vehicle, rather than just attack. I got the sense that he'll attack if he thinks that you're trying to walk out without buying a car. So if we get to the roof and then call out that we're customers looking to buy a vehicle, he should come out and possibly even just try to give us a sales pitch as we shoot him.
All right. You want me to open fire as soon as I see him?
Maybe we should sneak up, get into roof position, and then see if we can draw him out by stating loudly that we wish to purchase a vehicle.
Hold your fire. I wish to buy something reasonably priced with good mileage.
All right. Yeah. That sounds like a plan.
So before we set off, I'm going to see if we can't acquire from these villagers. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. A knotted rope will do. Just another means of egress from the rooftop if we need one, without having to jump.
Do you have anything to barter for it?
Are they interested in caps? Do they care?
They'd be more interested in tea bags, but that's quite a lot to pay for a rope.
I think I still have a rope. Yeah, I do.
You do?
Okay.
Okay, cool. There you go. Problem solved. Totally good. So I've got another way down.
I didn't
Okay.
get how many feet it is, Grim. Or
Well,
is it just kind of...
Assume, like, I guess 30 feet.
All right.
Yeah, because that's roughly 10 yards, 10 meters. Yeah, 30 feet.
All right, so I guess the plan is go there, make directly for the roof via the fire escape, presuming he will notice us. And if he doesn't, I'm sure we can get his attention anyway. and then as he tries to then fix the rope so that we've got another way down if we need to, and then blaze away as he tries to come up the stairs. Is that the essence of it?
Yeah.
That's how I understand it.
Right. Cool.
Okay. 1 second. Just trying to figure out how many action points we get this time with 3 players. Games Master's action point pool. 1 per player. Players action point pool. Of course, it doesn't say it in the same location. Is it always 6 for you?
Action points on start. I think it's equal to the number of players.
I want to make sure I get this right. Oop. Ta-da!
Hey, sorry, my dog popped me in my surgery line, and I've been on the ground in pain the last hour.
Okay, well, I hope you're feeling better now.
Yeah, so I don't know how much talking I'm going to be able to do. It hurts like a bastard. I'm just trying
All right,
to
well, take it easy, and if you need to go, don't feel like you have to stay. We're trying to remember how many action points players get.
4.
Is it number of players?
Yeah, it's equal to the number of players.
Because there's a maximum number as well, isn't there?
6 is the maximum.
Okay. It's not in the same section of the book. I don't know. All right. So to quickly recap the recap, going to need a vehicle to travel at a reasonable speed, any longer distance than you've been traveling currently. So you negotiated with the mysterious masters who live behind the force shield, apparently. And if you bring them the parts, they will put it together for you, and then you'll be able to travel. The plan so far seems to be to return to the car body shop where the robot salesman was, to take the high ground and either bluff him or aggravate him and then take him out one way or the other. Thereafter, to get the bits, possibly by breaking in and climbing up the fire escape to get in the top of the building and get around behind him, and then construct some sort of wooden badger and use that to bring the parts back to the masters, who will then assemble a proper vehicle for you. And the players who haven't been able to make it today, they've gone off to secure fuel. I think that was all settled, wasn't it? So time to travel back. Are you wanting to follow the same cross-country route that you did before, or do you want to take the roads this time?
I think we didn't run into any trouble going cross-country. Might be best to do that again.
Okay. So can someone make a survival roll, I think? Perception survival to navigate back following the same route that you came along, which is more likely to be safe.
I've got a decent perception and a 3 in survival. You want me to make the roll?
Yeah, I think you have the highest.
All right, I'll take 1 point out of the pool so I can roll 3.
Yep.
Three successes. One
Nice.
goes back in the pool. Or
Yeah.
right?
Two go back in the pool. Because you got 2 over what you needed, which was 1.
Yep.
So, all right. So the pool's currently at 5. All right. Yeah. Like as with most things, following the same route back is a lot easier and seems a lot quicker, even if it isn't necessarily. There's been a little bit of flooding across one of the fields on the way back. It looks like a bunch of rain upriver has washed down and then flooded out onto a floodplain, soaking some fields. Well, I say fields, I mean not much stuff is agricultural anymore. But yeah, it's turned into a bit of a mire and as a water meadow. You can either take a bit more time and skirt around it, or you can try and wade across it.
We don't know what's in that water. And I'd hate to imagine like come across another one of those goldfish. It might be better to go around.
How deep does the water look?
I was just flooded out over the field. It looks like it's only maybe a foot deep, but like your booted foot would sink into the mud beneath. So it looks like it floods fairly regularly. So it's kind of loose soil, water meadows. So it'll just be really heavy going. It'll be tiring and slow and messy to get across.
How much longer will it take to go around it, we think?
Wading across it will take about 1.5 times as long as it would normally would. Going around will take about twice as long as it normally would.
We would be very vulnerable too with our feet stuck in the ground.
Yeah, I think you're right. We should probably go around it.
Okay. So you make your decision and skirt around, going through a few twisted and mutated trees that are sort of leaning crazily in the damp soil. Even going around the outside, your feet are squishing a couple of inches down into the mud and making fetid water seep up. But you're able to make your way around and carry on with no real trouble. So it's a bit of a trog. Let me bring up my map. Okay, so yeah, it takes you about 4 hours to make it back to the vicinity of Dish and the crater. I think you'd stopped for lunch at the village, I think. So yeah, it's early to mid-evening when you get back. The sun's still very much up. The air is heavy and muggy, and there are big tall grey clouds on the horizon in every which direction. So you could go and deal with the robot now, or you might want to take a rest for the rest of the evening. It's up to you.
Yeah, we might want to have the full day ahead of us tomorrow, because after we take out the robot, we're going to want to figure out what to do with all these parts, how to get it together. That might be a better thing to be doing in the morning.
Though if we were sneaking up to him, we might do better at night.
I would imagine that he has some sort of thermographic sensor, so I don't imagine night or day is going to make much of a difference to it.
If you know more about robots than I do. I'll take your word for it.
Well, there's no reason why they should just have human level senses.
Yeah, you've
Never
got a
quite-
few. You've got a few robots in the vault, mostly sort of repurposed Mr. Handies. So yeah, you know a bit about robots. Yeah, they don't leave the lights on at night for the robots, and the robots seem to make their way around okay. So it's not unreasonable to assume that they can see in the dark. And it's probably got some kind of scanner for examining vehicles and things. So.
Yeah. So I think Martha's probably got a better idea. We should just rest because, like I said, it would if it can see in the dark and we can't, then we're actually going to be at a disadvantage.
All right.
Can you agree? Yeah.
All right. So heading to Dish, I would think. Right. That's probably the place you know the best, be the most comfortable at, and you know they've got space in the old cafe. So yeah, you trog around the outside of the crater, make your way back to Dish. The mutant farmers just sort of nod politely to you. These guys have a few cows, huge mutant cows. If you did want one of those to pull a cart, they might be willing to part with one for some magic beans or something. Who knows? You're able to make your way into the big Airstream trailer that forms the cafe and pick out the benches on which you slept before. You can fire up the improvised stove in there. There's still some fuel left beside it. So yeah, use up a food item and a drink item, please, everybody.
Everybody good on food?
We have a lot. You have a lot of food, right? We from our
Yeah, that's
So-
why I asked.
Yeah.
I would. I would need a little something.
So is one family size box of cornflakes enough for everybody?
Yes,
All right.
they'll probably use up that whole box though. The farmer's probably willing to trade some Auroch milk for you to have with your flakes.
While we're taking downtime in that, you said there was a lot of junk around this place, that both on the outside and the inside.
Yeah, most of it's been sort of built onto the walls and so on to protect it, but the farmers clear a lot of junk out of their fields and so on as well. So yeah, there's a lot of crap.
I want to sort of root around, see if I can find anything either that's like a big magnet that would be good enough to stick to the robot, or something I can shape into like a grappling hook shape to, again, hook onto the robot.
Yeah. Okay. 1 second. Scavenging for something specific. Okay, let's see. Okay, make a perception plus survival test.
Give me a couple seconds to dig up my dice. Can I take a point out of the pool?
Yep.
2 successes.
Okay, so that succeeds but doesn't exceed. All right, rooting through the junk, you find an enormous television screen, probably taken from some of the outbuildings of the old Air Force base that was here. Seems like it was used in like a situation room or something. But inside it, it should have a powerful magnet for directing the scanning electron beam onto the phosphor dots. So yeah, you could smash open this big old wrecked television. You should be able to get a nice big battery, magnet out of that.
Okay, so I'll get the magnet out of it, and then I want to hook it to the end of my cable.
Yeah.
Either if it has a hole in it, I'll put it through the hole. If not, tie around to it. Whichever way works.
Yeah.
And the idea is to try to, when we encounter the thing, is to clamp onto it and then, tie the robot off or something so that it'll trip itself or otherwise be inconvenience while we try to attack it.
Yeah. All right. It is a big, heavy magnet, but you can add that to your equipment sheet. All right. Does anyone want to do anything else before getting a night's sleep? You won't even have to stand watch because there's plenty of other people living here.
Nope.
Okay. All right. The night passes uneventfully, though your rest isn't as lovely as you would have liked it to be, because the music playing from the radio station, he has it cranked up quite high and doesn't seem to sleep. So you're constantly interrupted and kind of stirred from a proper deep sleep by the change in music or the difference in beat. It's a little bit distracting, but you get used to it about the sort of time you need to get up. So it's kind of offset. You got decent rest, but not fantastic rest. But the sun comes up. The mutated cockerel makes a strangled gargling noise instead of crowing. And it's time to face the robot.
If we're lucky, maybe he's just rusted over by now. He did seem pretty old.
Yeah, I don't think our luck's going to hold that way.
Yeah, he's been fine for 200 years and then just happens to break down on the day that you want to confront him.
We can always hope, Martha.
So what's the approach then? You want to come at the building from the side where the fire escape is?
That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then I'll drop down the rope.
I think before we actually approach to maybe look through the binoculars, see if we see him like standing outside or if we don't see him.
Opera glasses.
Right.
Not as good. Maybe ×2 magnification.
See through our glasses. Yeah.
Yes, you hold them up on a little stick up to your eyes and peer out once you've gotten within spotting distance of the place. Yeah, you can see him moving inside, sort of stamping slowly from window to window and running an ancient squeegee across them, keeping the place clean, brushing up a few bits of detritus that have blown in during the night.
Okay,
so he seems to be alive and somewhat busy.
So we can sneak up.
Well, I think if one of us goes to the lot, we can attract his attention because he seems to know when someone's in the lot. Did you guys want to find cover and I'll see if I can catch his attention?
I think the plan is to lure him onto the fire escape stairs because he's apparently slow when he's not on the horizontal. And the stairs themselves are kind of caged in. So I guess the first thing to do would be to check that the bleeding fire escape is actually not locked. otherwise we look a bit stupid.
Okay, well, he's busy on the other side. So whoever's scouting, make a stealth roll to creep up and have a look.
That would be me, right?
Yeah.
Anybody? Okay.
Just I think it's you.
Well, I got a complication
Okay.
and a failure. So that's not good.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you creep up to the building while the robot's busy around the other side, and make your way over to the fire escape. So the fire escape runs up like, I guess it's 2 floors, but they're quite tall floors. So it's maybe about 20 feet of building there. You could probably just about get away by jumping down from the top of the ground floor, but it would be risky. The bottom of the fire escape, it looks like the door has some kind of sort of bar across it on the inside, so that you can only open it from the inside to stop people doing exactly what you're trying to do and break in from the outside.
Is there any barbed wire on the top?
Well, it's caged all the way up side of the building.
Okay.
So, and there's a lot of dead leaves and bindweed growth and stuff intermingled around the cage, so you can't particularly see in it very well.
I'm Betsy probably. No, sorry, I'm not there.
Could I just climb the cage?
You can. It's more difficult than the stairs, but yeah, you can. Would you make? I guess strength athletics roll.
I'm gonna take a point.
Okay.
No.
Fail,
Yep, fail.
but no complications.
No complications.
Okay. Right. You start climbing up the outside of the cage, and the dead plants just kind of rip away in big hunks whenever you try to get a hold of it. And then the metal on the inside isn't particularly well finished, so it's sort of sharp. Hurts, doesn't quite cut you, but it's enough for you to lose your grip and slide down the outside of the cage and land with a thump.
All right, guys, looks like that's not going to work.
How is the gate secured?
Bar on the inside.
With a padlock, or just a bar resting in a couple of brackets?
It was just the bar, right?
Oh, you bar on the inside, but it must be resting in something to hold it there.
Ah, well, is it ferrous metal? Because we've got a bloody great magnet.
This is true.
Well,
You think
we could try to climb up on some vans. That was our plan B anyway.
Did you want me to check, see if the bar is metal? Probably is. I could imagine not being. Betsy?
Yeah.
You came up with the idea?
Certainly, detective. Yes.
All right.
If we can lift it from this side, yeah.
I'll run over and.
Okay. Can you make a stealth roll, please, to make it up there without being heard or spotted?
Yeah, that's one of my better skills. 2 7s. Cool.
Okay, so 2 successes.
Yeah, I need an 8. That means those are both success.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You hunker down, creep over there, sort of holding your hat with one hand and the big magnet in the other. When you bring the magnet up, the cage doesn't seem affected, but the doorway does, and you hear a clunk of the bar moving on the inside. And then when you move the magnet up, it lifts the bar up on that side, and the door swings open.
Okay. Pull the magnet back off.
Well, one sec.
Or try to.
Inside, at the bottom of the steps, is a desiccated corpse.
Okay.
Just laying there in a heap at the bottom of the steps.
Okay. So we need to get the machine into this fire escape, right?
That's the plan, I think, to try and draw him into here.
So I'm going to type on my Pip-Boy so it's quiet to Betsy and the others. Can one of you call out from a distance to try to get him this way so he's not looking for me directly? And then I'm going to brace up against the wall, trying to stay profile back so he comes through looking out in the distance where the sound's coming from.
Sure, I'll yell out, "Hi, it's us. We're back. We want to buy a car."
Okay. The main doors slide open, and he comes stamping out on his big metal feet.
I'm gonna head up to the roof.
Okay. So you duck in past Detective Downs and step over the corpse. As you do, the corpse abruptly comes to life and grabs hold of your leg. Or at least tries to. So. This catches you completely by surprise, and is that drawback you rolled earlier. And you can't defend yourself, so it does land a hit on you. You take 1 hit point of damage as it digs its bony fingers into your leg and bites down on your shin. Right, normal initiatives. Everyone else can go before it in any order you like.
So now we have something attacking him, and
Yeah, it went to step over the corpse, this body that was laying at the bottom of the fire escape, in a sort of mechanics overalls. As he stepped over it, it sprang to life, grabbed onto his leg, and bit him in the shin.
And at the same time, the robot now is coming out the front.
The robot is very slowly coming out of the front towards.
And we still need to get up the fire escape and on the roof to drop stuff onto him, right? To tie him up.
Well, whatever it is you want to do to it. Yeah.
Okay. Anton, do you got this?
I got it.
Okay. Pull the magnet off and run my ass up there to get in position to stop the robot, since that's the primary thing we're supposed to do.
Okay. To squeeze past Anton and the white or ghoul as they are fighting, make an agility unarmed roll.
I'm sorry. Which one?
Agility and unarmed.
Agility and unarmed. Okay. It's only 6. I better take at least 1 die out of the pool, 1 point of the pool.
Okay.
I get that. Nope. Nothing horrendous, but no successes either.
Okay. So you got no success. So you try to squeeze past, but with Anton wrestling with the ghoul, swinging around, trying to get it off his leg, you're unable to duck past. Anton, do you want to try and deal with this thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna fumble with my laser pistol, and then I'm gonna start emptying my charge cell into it.
Okay, go for it.
Nice. 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay, so you only needed 1. So that gives you 2 doodads for the pool. And then what's the rate of fire on that? Do you want to fire more shots to get more damage?
The rate of fire. I don't think it's tagged on here. The rate of fire is 2. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll add another shot.
So add another shot for extra damage. What's the base damage on it?
4.
Okay. So plus 1. So do you want to roll or shall I?
You've got the dice.
I've got the special dice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops. All right. So 1, 2, 3 damage and special. Can you guys still hear me? Something happened to my screen.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. So special is penetrating, is it, with the laser?
Yeah, piercing 1.
Piercing 1. Okay. All right. You liberally blast it with your laser pistol. Beams hit into its body, sizzle through its mechanics coveralls, and burn the flesh underneath. And there's not a lot of juice left in this corpse, so it burns it pretty badly. But it is still doggedly holding on to you, even as parts of its body char and flake away. Unless you wanted to pay chits for more damage, I think you can spend, is it 3? Oops.
Damage, I think, is 1 to 1.
Yeah, I think there's a limit on how many you can spend.
Yeah, up to 3 dice.
Yeah. And you've got 2 in your personal pool at the moment and 2 in the group pool. So
yeah, you should really finish it off, Anton.
All right. So that's 2 extra die or 1 extra die if I pull from my personal pool.
it'll be 2 extra dice if you spend both of them.
Okay.
Yeah, take 1 from the group one too, and just so you get the max back.
Yeah. I'll give you 3 extra dice of damage.
All right.
Okay, that's enough to finish it off. So yeah, having blasted at its body a bit and that not having much in the way of effect, you press the laser pistol against the side of its head and fire. It briefly glows like a Halloween lantern and then slumps with a thump at your feet with smoke pouring out of all the orifices of its head. Done. Right, so we're out of combat for now, and you two can scramble up the stairs as quick as you can. Meanwhile, you've come back. Would you like to buy a car?
I'd like to either have already during this skirmish like crawled up one of the vans or
Okay.
do so now.
Make a strength athletics roll. And is Betsy just taking cover behind one of the cars?
At the moment, she is more or less where we stopped when we first started approaching. You'll have to remind me. My memory of this is that this thing is actually quite slow.
Yeah.
But she doesn't want to get to a point where Martha is the only one who is trapped on the other side of the fire escape. So she's going to wait until she is sure that Martha and I can both get to the fire escape before it can. So none of us are cut off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Did you
it.
make
Maybe I should be making my way to that fire escape instead. Is it like right between us and the fire escape, or just kind of standing in?
Okay, see, you're facing forward, right? Off to the building goes off to the left at a right angle from the way you're viewing. He's coming out the side of the building towards you, and then the fire escape's there, sort of on the 90 degrees to the right of it as it comes out.
Okay. Then yeah, we'll I'll just try to get to that fire escape. That's where we want to lure it over anyway.
Well,
So-
gee, that's not the way in. Come in the front of the store. I can get you a coffee.
I'll be right there. Just give me a moment. Wait right there.
Please be careful. That's the loading area. It is dangerous.
I'll try to get myself up that fire escape.
Yeah, so yeah, the two of you could sort of step gingerly over the smouldering corpse of the ghoul and scramble up the stairs after the other. Okay. So yeah, the fire escape does run all the way up to the roof, just in case, but it does have a landing and a way in through a sort of sliding door in the side of the offices, which are over the proper workshop section. The door is a little bit stuck with age and perished rubber, so someone's going to have to force it open. Anton and John were there first, so who's going to try and break this open?
You're a lot stronger than I am, Anton.
Am I?
Yes. My guy's like the weakest in the group. I have a mighty 4 for strength.
That's what alcoholism will do for you. So it'd be strength athletics roll.
All right. Gonna borrow one from the pool again.
That's the last one in the pool.
All right.
Hey, could I give him my rebar to give him some leverage?
Yeah, make a strength athletics roll as well yourself. If you succeed, add a success to his.
That's 1 dice, right? Helping?
Yeah, 1 dice.
Nada.
So I got a 1 and a 6, so that's 3 successes.
Okay. Yeah. So between you managed to break the sort of seal of perished rubber. There's a tearing noise, like a fat naked guy getting up from a leather couch, and the whole thing opens, and you're able to get inside.
All right.
Well, gee, that's not the way in. If you're trying to rob from me, I will have to call the police.
I guess I'm gonna open fire. Is everyone else in position?
Well, firing through the cage will be a bit difficult, but he is coming towards the bottom of the cage.
Yep.
Otherwise, you can climb the rest of the way up to the roof, or you can get into the office here.
Yeah. Anton, let's try to get the magnet on him and tie him down first so he's limited mobility for a target.
But we might be able to scramble him if we can get the magnet on the right place.
Well, either way, if you start shooting, won't be able to try it. So,
all right.
So I'll stay here so I can swing it through the cage with my arm, like through the cage to try to hit him. And if Anton, if you want to continue up to the roof to get in firing position, that way the girls can get past.
All right. Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
So you scramble up the rest of the way to the roof. Are ladies up to the roof as well?
Yep. And then,
Yes.
taking the rifle out, getting that ready.
Who had the rope?
I did.
Anton's got the rope.
Okay. So if I haven't already taken it off him already, then I will retrieve it from him, find somewhere to tie it off on this flat lower roof section, and actually on the other side of the building, so diametrically opposite where the fire escape comes up. Find something to tie it off to. I don't know, an air vent, whatever.
It's an American-owned chain of garages, so they have air conditioning. There's plenty of big vents and stuff that you can tie the rope off onto.
Yeah. So
All
I'll
right.
just tie it off and drop it down the other side, off it down, so we can climb down rather than jump down.
The robot steps up to the bottom of the cage, and starts coming in through it. It says, I am empowered to make a citizen's arrest if you're stealing from us. If this was the States, I could shoot you. I might anyway.
So, Jim, is there enough room to jump off the fire escape if I was able to connect the magnet to him and like pull down on it so the magnet will pull him up? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's an incredibly risky maneuver, but you could do it. Your weight may not be enough to lift him up, though, him being a big robot.
What I was thinking about doing was trying to throw the magnet so it hits down on the wheel / motivator, whatever it is that he's rolling with.
Yeah.
Jump over the edge with the other end of the cable, use my weight to pull his motivator out from underneath him, and make him a sitting duck so Anton, Betsy, and Martha can start shooting down on him.
Yep, you can try. Right, so to throw the big heavy magnet at him is difficulty 1, difficulty 2 if you want to aim for the leg, and it will be agility plus throwing.
Okay. Do we have any?
There are no points currently in the pool.
Okay. So I'll get dog meat to assist and distract him, so I can
get
everybody down by 1. And I'll take 2 shots. Well, if dog meat helps, then that's a success because I got 1 6 and 1 14.
Yeah, dog meat thunders down the stairs, and sits in front of the robot, yapping at him. The robot sort of mid-step stops and totters slightly. You hurl the magnet down. How many successes did you get?
Just the one. Just the one,
but with the bonus to make the 2.
Junkyard makes it down to 1.
Yeah.
Without
the magnet clanks onto his leg, and the servos start sort of seizing up and spasming, and he sort of sways even more wildly. And then you want to jump off, holding onto the cables to try and pull his leg out from under him.
Yep.
Okay, to do that safely, make a strength athletics roll.
Okay, can I make a luck athletics roll? Oops, I'm on the wrong.
You can spend a point of luck to do stuff.
So I can spend can I spend a point to make the luck to make it better, make the roll better?
I'm just double checking what you can do. AP, you start with luck points equal to your luck attribute. These replenish each quest / session. You can spend luck to introduce a helpful item. Substitute your luck attribute for the attribute in any other test. So you can spend a luck point to substitute your luck for your strength for that
that's
test.
Gonna help. Yeah, that's not gonna help.
And you can spend luck to reroll dice.
All right, well, I'll save it for rerolling then.
Okay.
Which I'll spend to reroll the dice.
Okay, you can spend up to 3 luck points to reroll dice.
Yeah, I'll spend.
But each die can only be rerolled once.
Yeah, I'll spend 2 of them to reroll both dice.
Yeah.
Yes, fucking A. 1 and a 3.
Okay, so that's 3 successes. So 2 into the pool. All right, so yeah, you grab the cable, wrap it multiple times around your arm, and sort of hurl your body weight off. Yanks the leg out from under him, and he falls flat on his back with a loud metallic clang, and his big foam cowboy hat falls off and rolls away across the asphalt.
As soon as I hit the ground,
Danger!
Shoot him!
Equilibrium disrupted. Yeah, and you hear him shout as he dangles from the cable on the other side of the cage. Shoot him!
Can I get a line of sight on him, or do I have to go back into the stairwell?
You'd have to go back into the stairwell or up to the roof to get a line on him.
All right. Can I finish going up to the roof and fire on this turn?
Yeah, I thought the 3 of those guys were already on the roof.
Anton wasn't. You two were. Anton wasn't. So one minor action to move, one major action to fire. Yes, you could.
All right.
All right. So you scurry up to the roof, line up your laser. He can't attempt to defend himself because he's flat on his ass, or whatever passes for an ass.
Nah, nothing.
Okay, that's still a hit because the difficulty has dropped to 0.
Oh, okay.
So base damage is 4d, I think.
Yep. And I'm gonna spend an extra
Ammo.
point of ammo. Yeah.
Yeah. And piercing is the special, isn't it?
Yep.
So that's...
Oh, its quality is close quarters. Can I still hit him from here?
Yeah, that just means you can use it in melee.
All right.
Without penalty. All right. Okay, the blast hits his arm, but doesn't seem to particularly penetrate the coating on his anodized metal body. So it's just sort of singes the paintwork without doing any serious damage. However, he emits an electronic shriek and says, "Self-defense mode activated." All right. So, what about Betsy and Martha?
I'll fire at him with the hunting rifle.
Okay. So you crouch, shoulder it, line up on his body that's sort of half laying out of the cage. Go for it.
I got. So that would be big guns.
No. Big guns is for heavy weapons, so that's small weapons.
Small weapons. So that's
Yeah.
agility is so that is a 7. So I got 2 successes.
Okay, and it's difficulty 0 to hit him. So 2 points in the pool. And you hit. How much damage does it do?
Would you mind rolling? I don't have.
I'm fine with rolling. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much damage?
Well, could you roll for that? How much damage is the weapon?
Yeah.
Is the weapon? It's damage 6, piercing 1.
Piercing. Okay. I think the rate of fire is only 1 on the rifle, isn't it? So you can't fire extra shots. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. Do you want to spend any action points for extra damage?
Yeah. I mean, we have how many?
You've got 3 at the moment. 3 at the moment.
Yeah, I'll spend 1.
Okay.
I'll just let him have it. Spend them all. You got a piercing weapon.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay. Nice. Every dice has done damage. So. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And piercing. Okay, you line up and fire. The rifle round flies down the side of the building and smashes into his leg, breaking open a few panels. Some very satisfying electrical sparks cascade out the side of his leg. And he just emits more metal shrieks and rolls around like a turtle on its back, trying to get up. So that just leaves Betsy.
Yep. Rushing back from the other side of the roof where she's been tying off the rope.
Drawing move
her gun.
action.
Yep, drawing
Yeah.
a weapon, assuming blah blah blah. So she will fire. She didn't get any successes, but difficulty 0, I suppose.
So that's a hit. So
Rate of
that's-
fire is 2, which she will a lot.
Yeah.
And damage is 4.
Okay, so the rate of fire gives you an extra 1. Okay. Oops. Does it have any special qualities?
Not that are relevant to damage.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you're still a little bit scared of your own gun. So you sort of lean over the side, bang, 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 without really looking properly. But there's a couple of satisfying clangs, but the bullets ricochet off his body and smash a few bricks out of the wall. He seems unbothered by your pistol. Right. Marshall the robot's eyes change to glowing red out of his round metallic face. There's a loud clonking noise from his right arm as the tools reconfigure, and then he raises his arm up and fires rivets out of it with a bunch of CO2 vapor venting from his arm as he does so. You've got cover from the corner of the building. What does cover give you? Let me just look that up quickly. So we know the future reference. Hopefully it's in the index. Cover, see environment. You could have just given me the page reference.
No, never mind.
Environment cover, page 38. Cover gives you cover dice. Roll the number of cover dice and add that to your damage reduction for that attack. Okay. And hard cover, in this case, is 3 dice. Okay. Two dice. I'll spend my token for an extra 1 because feeling mean. Those are hit location dice. That's not going to help me. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3 successes. So okay, he's aiming at Martha because robots are ruthlessly logical and you have the most dangerous weapon. Right. What is your physical DR on your right arm?
It is. Let me see. Right arm is 2.
Okay. So, okay. How many hit points do you have?
I have. Let's see. I have it written down somewhere.
So I think it's a health section. I did.
Combat health. 13.
Okay, you take 8 hit points of damage, which means you have a critical wound to your right arm. Let me just look that up. Injuries. Injuries 32. Okay, you drop your rifle and your arm is broken or otherwise unable to move. You cannot perform any actions using that arm by itself or alongside your other arm. Okay, so laying on his back, there's this clunking noise from his arm. He raises it and starts to fire off rivets, like ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk. As the bolts hit into the corner of the building, they break off chunks of masonry that fall down. One of the shots is partially deflected. It would have hit you right in the chest, but it deflects off the side of the building and hits into your arm, and the bolt actually wedges itself into your flesh, chipping the bone of your upper arm. Unimaginable pain flares through your right arm. You drop the rifle, it smacks the edge of the roof and spirals off, falling down below and landing next to the robot. Your arm is numb and useless and bleeding a lot and broken. Fuck! All right. New turn. Who wants to go first?
Betsy gives Martha a disapproving look at that expletive. Can I just check the tactical situation here? Is it right? Do I have this right that John is basically hanging sort of halfway down the building because the robot is too heavy for him to just zip lay her down?
Yeah.
Now, what if two of us were on that rope?
Don't know. How much does Betsy weigh?
Good question. Not a huge sum, I wouldn't imagine, based on her overall. Let's have a look. Is this an actual stat that I'm likely to find somewhere? Or do I just infer it from strength?
Okay, because I imagine Betsy as being like voluptuous but short.
Yeah.
So if you hang onto the rope as well, I'll roll one of the combat dice, and if it comes up a Vault Boy, so that's a 2 in 6 chance, then we'll say that's enough weight to hoist the robot.
It's more useful than anything else she's likely to be doing. I mean, if Martha had dropped the rifle at her feet, maybe. But yeah, so that's what she's going to do. She's just going to jump for the rope and see if our combined weight can't A, drag it further into the cage, and B, lower it down to the ground where you can be more use.
Yeah. Plus, you could let go and then it would fall on its head. Which is, again, got to be worth thinking about. All right, make a strength athletics roll to get onto the cable rope.
Okay, 4 athletics, 7. Sorry, I now have to squint for my dice. So that is a 4 and an 11, so that's 1 success.
Okay, so yeah, you scramble over the side of the building, grab hold of the rope, and allow your weight to go dead. The robot is hoisted up into the air, and you and Detective John now have your feet on the ground. Just. Caution! Misuse of equipment! God dang!
Spinning around, shooting.
Shooting rivets off wildly in all directions.
So you guys on the building want to shoot first before I finish up?
Did it seem like it? Oh, sorry.
Well, go
on. Did it seem like it was not phased by my laser?
You probably did some damage. Heat would have bled through to the inside, maybe melted some cables or something. You think if you blast away enough shots, it should do something to it.
Do we have any action points in the pool?
You currently have 2 points in the action pool.
All right. Gonna buy 1 die, and I'm gonna see if I can called shot the optics.
Okay, so that raises the difficulty to 1 to hit it. So you need to get at least 1 success.
All right. Two successes.
2 successes. Okay, so that puts another one back into the pool. Do you want to spend ammo again for more shots?
Yeah.
Pew, 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 pew. Right, so that's 5 dice of damage. Do you want to buy any extra dice of damage? It's 2 points in the pool currently, and Martha's basically out of the fight, so you might want to spend them.
When you're buying damage from the pool,
One for one.
All right. Yeah, I'll take the 2 that are in the pool. Max out.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay, they're all Vault Boys except one, which is blank. So that's clean through the armor. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of damage, and he only has 4 left. Okay, you line up carefully as he's hoisted into the air. So rivets flying past your head as you line up and quickly depress the trigger twice. There's a snap crack through the air as 2 bolts of ruby red laser energy strike it right in the face, burning out its optics and leaving a nice pair of melted holes clean through its head, burning its valves and circuit boards inside. He goes, "Oh, god damn limeys," and then stops operating.
All right, when Anton's done, I take my minor action to get me and Betsy out of the way, and then the major action to release that cable so that he can come crashing down.
The lifeless body of the robot drops about 5 to 6 feet on its head onto the tarmac with an almighty crash, and then topples slowly over with a clang. There's a horrible ozone smell and burnt plastic.
He's definitely down for the count. Kick it with the boot, make sure.
It just clanks and limply rocks back and forth.
Okay.
Martha,
I retrieve my magnet and cable.
Martha's, on the ground, clutching her arm, wincing, and goes, "Is everyone okay?"
Doesn't look like you are. Hold on. Where did we last see a doctor?
I got a stim pack. Think I can use it. Yeah, I'll stim pack myself.
Okay.
So how's it work? If I do my arm, that just recovers the arm and not health points, and if I do like my self,
I'm gonna look it up. Stimpack. See chems. You could just give me the page reference there. Chems. Stimpack. Heals 4 hit points. Stimpack is a form of fast-acting medication used to bolster the body's own healing and recuperative ability. Blah, blah, blah. Healing agents, stimulants, and painkillers. Stimpack can be used in one of 2 ways. It can be applied using the Take Chem minor action, healing 4 hit points, or treating an injury immediately, or it can be applied as part of a first aid action, healing 4 hit points, or treating an injury in addition to any other healing done.
Oh,
that's you can either. Yeah, so if you do first aid on yourself, or someone else does it, then it can heal the injury and you get some hit points back.
Yeah, I'll do that. I have good medicine.
I might be misremembering, but I think you can't do first aid on yourself. But I'm gonna
You
check.
can, but it increases the difficulty by 1.
Okay.
If not, Betsy has, some small experience of.
Kissing boo-boos.
Yes, exactly.
Grim, I also have faster healing trait, so that's when rolling endurance survival to heal, first extra d20 is free.
Okay, so first aid, intelligence plus medicine, difficulty equal to the number of injuries you have. So 1 increased to 2 because you're doing first aid on yourself if you do it on yourself.
Okay, so it's a difficulty of 2.
Difficulty 2. Yep.
Do we have any dice in the pool?
No, there's no points in the pool at the moment.
So you can still take extra dice on your test, but you have to give him action points to his pool if you do it. But you should do it because you got to make sure you heal.
Yeah.
So at least take 2 dice, and that'll give him 3 points.
Okay, so I'm doing 4d20.
Yeah.
And then for the faster healing, how does that factor in?
What did it do again?
So it says here that it says when rolling endurance plus survival to heal, the first extra d20 you buy is free.
Okay, so that's separate to first aid. I think that's when you rest, you roll that to recover hit points.
Okay, so we'll just do the first aid, the 4d20.
Yeah.
I have 3 successes.
3 successes. So that's 1 point back from the pool. And what's your medicine skill rating?
My medicine is 3.
So
and
you
it's
get back
tagged.
3 hit points, and the injury is gone.
It's tagged actually. So I got I got 4 successes.
Okay, so you rolled 1 under the tag.
I rolled 2 under the tag.
Okay.
And then
All
one
right,
of them
so
was a 1. I don't know if that means anything.
I'll let you heal an extra point for that. So.
Okay.
And the injury is gone. So yeah, you roll up your sleeve, grit your teeth, pull the bolt out, look at the neat little bolt-shaped hole in your arm, stab yourself with the stim pack, and clean out the wound with some alcohol or something from the first aid kit. And it still hurts like a bastard, and the entirety of your upper arm is bruised, and your whole arm is covered in blood, but you can at least use your arm again.
John, could I get another shot of that whiskey?
You bet. Here you go.
It helps.
She winces as it goes down. All right, let's destroy that robot and see what we can get from him.
Well, I think he's pretty destroyed already. Well, do we need to make a check to salvage anything from it?
Let me just double check. You can salvage pretty much everything.
Retrieve my gun too.
But yeah. I'm not the kind of games master that will say, "Oh, you left your rifle behind. You didn't tell me you got it." Yeah. Okay. It's basically the equivalent of a heavily modified Protectron. So salvage. Intelligence plus science roll to salvage materials from the robot.
Hey, I got an intelligence of 7 and science is 3 with the specialty, so I think I'm probably one of the better ones to do it. We have any points in the pool?
3 points in the pool.
All right, so I'll take one extra die.
Okay.
Yep, that was definitely a good idea. So one critical and one other. So 3 points. 3.
Okay. Okay, so it's 2 units of common materials and 1 unit of uncommon materials. They don't get any more specific than that in this. So, yeah, a bunch of useful metal plates and some surviving computer chips and boards and things that might be useful if you have to make something more complicated.
Yeah. Martha, were you keeping track of this stuff before?
Keeping track of
the inventory?
No.
Okay.
Not like party wide stuff. Just my personal.
Okay.
But...
So 2 common,
1 uncommon.
1 uncommon.
And now there should be no other nasty surprises in the building.
Hey, can I specifically check the bolt gun and see if it's retrievable? Like if we can remove it from the robot?
Make another intelligence plus science roll to try and retrieve the rivet gun.
All right. Take the last point out of the thing. Just 1.
Okay. You managed to detach the rivet gun from the arm, but you'll need to work on it to turn it into a usable weapon. It has like a helical magazine of bolt inside it, a big gas reservoir of compressed CO2 that fires the bolts. But at the moment, it has an electronic firing mechanism which you'll need to wire up to a trigger or something to make it work.
Okay.
But you can have the rivet gun. Yeah.
Would that be a repair check to try to fix that gun, or still science?
It would be, but you've no. It'll be a repair check for that because it's just pure engineering at that point.
I have pretty good repair.
Well, why don't we look at it once we go inside where there's all the tools and stuff? You can throw it on a bench and look at it. So let's go inside.
Okay, so there is the showroom at the front, with the sort of stripped remnants of some sort of floor car piled up. A bunch of old brochures. You already took the manual from here before. There's some sort of downstairs offices where salesmen would have worked. Everything downstairs is really clean and tidy and ordered. Out back, there is the actual body shop part. So there's a couple of bays where cars can be brought in. There's a storage chamber for spent nuclear fuel. And it's a wonderland, a treasure trove of car parts of all sorts, stripped from every vehicle within quite some radius of where this place is. There's also the curtain with a smell of rotting meat coming from behind it.
Yeah, it was behind there that all the tools were, though, right?
Yeah, a lot of them.
All right. Well, I assume the ladies don't want to go in there, so I'll go in and start looking for tools.
All right. It is rank in here. Yeah. There's rotting flesh, organs, taken apart the same way the cars have been separated and labeled. And there's also several toolkits and devices. Some of it is stuff that would have been attached to the robot, so you can't really use that. But there are a bunch of human tools as well.
Well, collect it all up and take it out of this room. Basically, take everything of value out of this room into the other room, since nobody wants to go in there.
Yeah. So there's a couple of big workbenches and sort of turntable things. The place still has power. There must be a fusion cell somewhere, probably underneath the building, running everything independently. And plenty of workbenches, everything you'll need to piece together a cart and to put together all the bits you'll need to have the masters build a vehicle for you.
Okay.
So I'll use some of the tools that were brought out and the workbench to see if I can repair this rivet gun.
Okay. So use up one common and one uncommon material from your pool,
Yep, that's fine.
and then make a repair roll.
I got a 1 and a 12, and it's a tagged skill. So that would be 2 successes, but I don't know if rolling a 1 also adds
Yeah, that
anything.
gives you two successes. So
Okay, so 3 success because it's tagged.
Yeah.
Yes. 3
tagged as well. Yeah, but a 1 always gives you 2 successes.
Okay.
The same as if it was as if it was tagged. So 3 successes then, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 2 points back in the pool. Okay, you've managed to turn the rivet gun into a sort of rivet rifle, almost. You used some parts from the robot to create a stock for it and a proper trigger. So now it has an electrical trigger. You pull the trigger, it closes the circuit and fires the rivet gun once. Does anyone want the stat? Who's going to keep the rivet gun?
Well, here, I'll write down the stats for now, and then we'll worry about it later.
Okay.
Is that considered a big gun or a small gun?
It's still a small gun, but it's unwieldy. All right, it does 5d damage.
Well, I think since I was the one that got my arm ripped off by this gun and made it usable, I would like to hold on to it for now.
Sure, I don't care.
All right, so yeah, it does 5d damage. Its special quality is piercing and inaccurate and unreliable, and it has a rate of 2.
Good, we'll write it down.
Sorry, yeah, would you mind repeating that? I'm sorry. Let me write it.
Okay. 5d damage.
Okay.
Piercing, inaccurate, unreliable.
Beautiful.
And rate of fire 2.
At a later time, can I fiddle with it to try to make it more accurate and reliable?
Yeah, you can tinker with it and make mods to it, things like that. So, yeah, you'll be able to boost it up.
Okay, we'll do that later.
All right, so we need to make a cart of some type and start loading this shit up and get moving.
Yeah. Are there rules for extended challenges?
You can probably
Those
pull the
tests.
power source out of the robot, Martha.
Yeah.
Pull a power source out of the robot and just hook it up to a basic cart, even just one of these little body frames of one of these small cars.
Yeah.
The core though in the basement might be more useful for that.
Yeah, but I mean, if we want to use this place to repair stuff again and we pull the core out, then that's going to take all the power out of everything for reusing these tools.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. We'll try to take it out. Grim's looking something up now. We can ask if if that's science or repair. I mean, we could even just try to build a vehicle. We got a lot of stuff here. And then if we can't, we can take parts over to the scientists.
Yeah, we could try, but I mean, they got technicians there who are more skilled than we are.
Right.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
And we could probably get a lot of extra trade considering how much crap there is here.
Good point.
Because I don't know about you, I don't have crap all for food on me. We've only got so many rounds.
I've got food. Well, for a couple more days.
Yeah, exactly. So if we could trade for some more stuff, that would be good too.
And I know there's rules for extended skill tests, but which is what we need.
Surely it's just going to be X number of successes on difficulty Y, right?
Yeah.
Is this in one of those splat books?
It might be. I'll just have one more quick look, and then if not, I'll make a ruling. There isn't anything in the base rules, so.
Hey, Grim, since my character's not needed all that much for a second, I'm going to go for a minute and step out and get some ice for my neck. I'll be back in a few.
All right, cool. That's in the GM's toolkit, which is just up here. Seems like it should have been something in the main book, really.
Yeah, that's a very strange omission.
Yeah.
Given that, it shouldn't be more than a paragraph, right?
Yeah. Yep, there it is. Extended tests. All right. Extended tests can provide a greater challenge for their characters than normal skill tests. Extended test represents a problem that requires much greater effort to resolve. Extended tests use the same mechanics as characters taking damage and injuries in combat, except these injuries are called breakthroughs. Represent actions that will take an uncertain amount of time and effort to complete. So basically, you chip away at the hit points of a problem until you succeed.
suppose I can always do the little kid helping dad thing and hold the flashlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So are you trying to build an actual sort of ramshackle vehicle to transport the rest of the parts? Or are you trying to actually put together a whole vehicle for yourselves?
I think just a powered cart to get us there would be good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Powered cart is there and like carry other, the rest of it important.
Yeah. Whole bunch of junk. Probably be a good idea to take extras, as much as you can carry, basically, to keep the master's suite.
Though this is going to get tricky because we're probably going to have to take the roads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. We'll have to defend the cart full of junk on our way back. That's all.
Yeah. All right. So you don't need to worry about any extra bells and whistles, but you'll need to construct the frame and mechanicals. So choose a car frame, get some axles and wheels on. That's nothing too complicated. And then put the engine in and then finish up. So basically make sure it's got something to carry all the shit in, add a wheel, a brake, shit like that. So
you said there was
15, 3 breakthroughs. Sorry, yeah, go
on. You said there was a van that she was going to stand on before, something like that that's enclosed. If we can find something large like a van or a bus chassis that was enclosed, that'd probably be the best idea because then we can roughly hide the stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so constructing the frame, you will need to roll. Bless you. It'll be intelligence repair. So you need to choose someone to lead and then everyone else can help.
I got an 11 on that, so I think that's probably the highest.
Anyone better than that?
No.
So I will. I got 2 successes.
Was that a tag skill for her?
That is a tag skill. And let me check what if it's it might be 3 successes. Let's see. My repair's a 4, so no, it's just 2 successes.
Okay. Do you want to spend any points from the pool?
You should. It's important.
Yeah. So how many points do we have?
You've got 4 at the moment.
Can you all throw a die? Sorry.
Maybe spend 2 on this, and then when we get to the engine part of the problem, also spend 2 on that.
Okay, so that's 3 points for 2 extra dice.
Okay, and then we can have 1 helper. So who wants to help her?
Oh, only 1. All right. I have no relevant skills. I got
repair and an intelligence of 7, so that gives me an 8 total. 1 success.
Okay. So with the 2 extra dice, how many successes did Martha get?
Oh, let me add another 2 dice. Because I got 2 successes before. Let's see. I got another success.
Okay, so that's 4 successes. And what is your repair skill?
My repair skill is a 4.
Okay.
Untagged, if it matters.
Yeah. do you want to spend any of the 2 remaining points that you now have to boost your construction roll?
And this is just the frame, or this is for everything?
Well, it's just what you're starting on, but it will be for everything. Yeah.
Oh, what do you guys think?
Well, how many checks are involved in total?
As many as it takes.
You might as well.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, so add another 2 dice. All right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And an effect. 7. So the effort drops to 8. And that's 1 breakthrough. Okay. So, dragging everything inside, collecting together the bits that you want, getting the frame set up and lifted, replacing the axles, putting the wheels on. That's all done. So the next part is to put the engine in. Now, do you want to put a liquid fuel engine or an atomic fueled engine into this thing?
Can we try to salvage the power source from the robot?
Yeah.
I would try to salvage that because it's one that, it's available. So
Yeah, I'll just let you have that.
Is that atomic?
That would be atomic. So it'll be intelligence plus science to fit the engine.
Oh, I'm pretty good at that. Do you want me to take this one, Martha?
Yeah, I don't know how to work with nuclear stuff.
Yeah,
Hit it with a hammer.
Are there any points in the pool?
There's no points in the pool currently.
Alrighty, well, take 3 for the GM.
Okay.
I don't want to screw up with an atomic engine. Oh, there we go. 2, a 5, and a 6.
Okay. So how many successes is that?
So it's 4. 4 successes.
4 successes. Okay. So you get 3 points in the pool. And what is your science skill?
3, and it's a tag one.
Yeah. Do you want to spend any of those points to get extra dice for fitting the engine?
Sure.
You can 1 to 3 extra damage dice.
Do we want to go for the whole shot? Just make sure the thing works. Everybody?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, you know what? Go with 2 of them and save 1, so that the next
Okay.
you got 1 die extra at least, without
Yeah.
giving you points.
All right. You get the engine lowered into place, but the connections, the sheer number of connections and all the safety stuff is proving a little difficult. That's 1 complete day shift of work, getting all of that done. You can continue to work into the night, but you'll start getting tired, or you can take a break and shelter in the garage overnight, which will mean losing another food and drink item each.
Yeah, there's no reason why we shouldn't just shelter and wait.
Yeah.
Okay, so you come at it fresh the next day. Can you make another intelligence science roll, please?
Mm-hmm. And I'll take that 1 point.
Yeah.
2.
2 successes, so you get 1 point back. And your science skill was 3, wasn't it?
Yep.
Okay. Do you want to spend that point on an extra dice for fitting the engine?
No, we need to save it for the next test.
Okay. Okay, 3. All right. The engine is fitted after another 4 hours of fiddly work, basically convincing it to run in an unsafe mode, because you're not having to go far. You don't want to bother with all the shielding and everything. Who needs that nonsense? But yeah, it will now run. So now you just need to finish it off, and that's a more simple repair roll. So
That's
back
Martha.
to Martha, I guess. Yeah.
All right, good job.
So that leaves 1 point for you to use for an extra die.
All right, I'll do that.
Go for it.
3d20. That's 2 successes.
2 successes. That's another point back into the pool. What's your repair skill?
11. Or no, that's all. Yeah, 4.
Yeah.
And CAD.
Yeah. Do you want to pay any points for extra dice? You've got 2 points currently.
This is the last test we need?
It should be. Yeah.
Just blow it. You might as well.
Yeah, 1.
Okay.
Well, how many points do we have in there?
You got 1 point in there at the moment. All right. It's done. Right. You have put together a rather crude van of sorts with an atomic-powered engine under the hood with most of its safety limited stuff taken off. Your pit boys crackle a little ominously when you sit in the front. But it is covered, so it will hide what goodies you have. It's got plenty of torque, so it should be able to carry as much stuff as you want to shove into the back of this thing.
Alrighty, well, we'll start packing.
All right. So you pack it full of bits, gubbins, and so on. Probably takes another few hours to pick out all the parts that you really want and need, and shovel them into the back of this thing, pack them in good and tight. So if you return with this stuff to the masters, they should be able to build pretty much any kind of vehicle you want.
Is there a
from the
basement
parts?
place?
There is. Yeah. So you find while you're checking out and getting all of these bits together, you find a hatch down to the basement. There's a couple of electrically powered pumps and a fusion generator still humming away quite happily.
Is the core the removable kind, or you twist it and it comes out?
Yeah, they're pretty standard.
Okay.
So yeah, there's an American Electric fusion core.
If everyone doesn't mind, I think we should take time to take everything else of value, bring it down into this basement, and then pull the core, and then that way we can come back and salvage more later, so that some looter comes by isn't gonna find anything.
All right, should take us a couple hours, but
it's worth doing.
Yeah. So with all of that work as well, you're probably going to end up wasting another day here because you'll want to leave with the light so that you can see where you're going. Not least of all because you didn't put headlights on this. So cross up another food and drink item each, but you filled the basement with the choicest parts and finished loading everything up.
all right, we're out of cornflakes, guys. I think we've
We have I could fry up some goldfish eggs. We still haven't cracked into those yet.
I thought those were
Eats
for
the
glue.
bugs. They do, but you can also eat them.
Yeah, there's goo on top
The
of them that you
bugs.
boiled down
Yeah.
for glue.
So we'll do both of those things.
All right. I only have dirty water left. Two bottles. How does radiation damage work?
It reduces your maximum possible health until you get some Radaway.
Is there a
Alright.
water supply in this place? I wouldn't be surprised if there's one in here somewhere.
There's probably distilled water in jugs because they'll use that to replenish batteries and so on. But you can't really. It's not good for you to drink distilled water too much. But you can probably get away with it for a couple of days, and that'll be clean. So.
Yeah, we can cook eggs in that. Or
Yes, then it will no longer be pure distilled water.
yeah, that's fair. And
So it'll be better for you.
Yeah.
Plus, we
Yeah.
should grab some for the road in case, right?
Yeah. Well, okay, you can replenish your canteens. Yeah, and you've got some boiled goldfish eggs.
Are any of those jugs good enough to take on the road?
I mean, yeah, but like I said, it's not too good for you to drink pure distilled water, because your body doesn't really know quite what to do with it. It'll do in a pinch, but it's
Better than radiated water.
Better than irradiated water, yeah. So you can take a couple of jugs of that. So let's say all right, you got 6 days worth of water for each of you from a couple of big jugs of this stuff.
Okay, 6 days. All right.
Yeah. It's a bit cramped in the vehicle, fitting all 4 of you in a space that probably is meant to only hold 3 people.
Well,
so probably be some lap sitting.
How long did it take us to get from there to here last time?
You walked, so it took quite a while. Hang on. So it took you about 6 hours to walk. Driving, you haven't walked the roads, so you don't know what state they're in. This isn't a fast vehicle.
The reason why I was asking is because we might be better off a couple of us walk point anyway, to make sure that if we get attacked, that we're able to protect the van full of stuff that we're going in the first place, as opposed to suddenly getting ambushed and having it shot full of holes.
Yeah, it shouldn't take you more than an hour to get back to the village, unless you run into some severe trouble.
But that's with us walking as well?
With you walking...
We should have part of us walk around the vehicle.
Yeah, with you walking, it'll take about twice as long if you take the road.
Maybe me and Anton walk outside the vehicle so we can keep an eye on it, so if anyone attacks, we're ready to fight them. And then driving.
One of us take point, one of us take rear.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So that...
before we head out... because we might get, I just want to see if I can, and while we have like a workbench and tools, if I can improve the accuracy of the rivet gun. That'll look good.
1 second. Equipment, modifying equipment. Okay, so you want what is it you want to do exactly?
If I can, the rivet gun, which has inaccurate and unreliable, see if I could make it more accurate.
Yeah.
You just fit a big spider crosshair above it.
Okay, you don't have any levels in the gun nut perk, do you?
No.
Okay, you can improve the stock that you've built out of the robot's arm to remove the inaccurate. So that'll just be a repair roll. You just need 1 success. And access to the materials, which you have here. So.
Yep, 2 successes.
Okay. It's no longer inaccurate.
Could I... How about unreliable? Could I try to repair it?
Yeah. Difficulty 2. Same roll.
You had a point in there from last time, though.
Yeah, there's still a point left if you want an extra dice.
Okay, yeah, I'll spend an extra dice. Okay, that's 3 successes.
Okay, right. It is no longer unreliable. You've basically blueprinted the mechanical parts inside it and repaired all the damage and dings it took from the fight. So it should now fire a lot more true over a longer distance and shouldn't jam up or vent quite as often. So it's almost as good as new. Right, that's us at 2 hours. So let's take our little break there, and I'll take those minutes to see if there's any random encounters on the way back. And so we'll see everyone in what, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
Yep.
All right, see you back in 15.
we gonna do?
Grim. That's how it looks.
I'll take Grim right now.
I am the Grim Reaper.
Bit grim.
The bosses are good.
And make it grim.
A grim tale indeed. It's a little grim.
Meaningless and grim.
It's the Grim.
It's Grim.
Pretty grim, huh?
Things look grim.
War. War never changes. I just want to talk. Blue moon, you saw.
It's all over.
There'll be blue purple. Have a cup of tea. Oh, the Texas baby rolling with the boop-a-lack-a wee. Thunder is steady roll and the clock strikes 4. Everything stops for tea. Oh, a lawyer in a courtroom in the middle of an elevated scene. And stop till the 4 when the clock strikes 4. Everything stops for tea.
Hopefully, we're all back.
Yep.
Good. Right. Said Fred. All right. So, with the vehicle stacked up, riding low on its wheels, you're ready to go. So, the plan was to take the road because it's not really an off-road vehicle, and with two of you to walk alongside it, sort of as outriders, outriggers, whatever, to keep an eye out for any potential trouble that might come along. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So, the roads haven't seen any maintenance in about 200 years, so they're not really that different to the way English roads are at the moment anyway. A lot of the wrecks have been cleared out of the way, pushed to the side of the road, and here and there, people, probably traders, trading caravans, have tried to fill in the potholes with sand or gravel or loose stones from the surrounding grassland. So it's slow but steady going, if you're trying to be careful, which you are. So about 40 minutes into your journey, those grey clouds that have been hanging around for a couple of days now start to darken even more, and you start to feel a change in pressure in the air. You start to feel sort of sticky, sweaty, moving, seems to build up more body heat than it should. And if you're at all sensitive to that sort of thing, you're probably going to get a headache. You've had a couple of days free, so if you've lost, if anyone's still down on hit points, they can have the rest back. But yeah, the weather is about to change abruptly.
On the Pip-Boy, is the radiation levels up? Like, is there any radiation in the air?
It's hard to tell because there's a bit of leakage from the engine. Nothing to worry about in the short to medium term, but it doesn't seem like the ambient radiation has gotten up any higher.
I was just curious about in case it rains and carries radiation down out of the air.
It probably will to some extent, but a few heavy, fat drops of rain start to fall.
You guys might want to get inside until the rain clears up. I think it could get a little irradiated out there.
If the Pip-Boy warns us that there's radiation, I'll come in. But if not, a rainstorm's a great chance for a surprise attack. I just button my coat up, make sure my pouch on my shotgun shells is dry, and pull my hat down.
Okay. The Pip-Boy does tick up, showing more radiation as the rain starts to come down harder.
It's not dangerous levels yet, though?
If you stay out in it for a long time, I'll give you an exposure dice, but otherwise, if you're not out in it for too long, it should be okay.
Well, Anton, why don't you go in, and then we'll trade off, so there's at least one of us out here.
All right. Rotate shifts.
Yeah. So as Anton climbs in and squeezes into the cab next to the girls, the rain just goes from heavy spots to just coming down like a sheet. It just smashes into the ground everywhere. Massive downpour. It's ripping leaves off the trees, and it almost feels like it's beating Downs down. But with the hat and the trench coat, he looks like he should be in the rain. So there's a few flashes of lightning. Every few flashes seems to be more green than any other color, and each flash of green lightning seems to spike the radiation on the Pip-Boy. Who's driving?
I would imagine Betsy is driving badly, if only because Martha wants to be riding shotgun, literally.
Yeah. Make a... There isn't a driving skill, is there? So what do we substitute?
Well, if there is, I don't have it.
Yeah. Oh, no, there is. There's pilot. Okay. Make a perception plus pilot roll, please.
Okay, and there's no penalty for not having the skill, is there? You just
no, you
lower
just
your dice roll.
Lower level, yeah.
Yeah. Perception, you say?
I do.
Okay, so that is... Sorry, God damn it.
Where's the road?
Just trying to read my own bloody dice at the moment. It's a bit difficult. Yeah, so it's 2 fails, 11 and a 13.
Do you want me to send you my giant dice? Unfortunately, it's green. But
I was going to say, it looks like it. Yeah, I was going to say,
It's like it was clear from
against the green screen. It looked like a crystal. It's like limited use.
Well, I have a glass one as well. But,
it's also invisible.
They look exactly. Well, no, one's going
almost
through you.
the same.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you get any successes?
No, 11 and 13 both failed.
Okay. Do you want to give me any chits so that you can try rolling some more dice?
You might want to do that.
How many have you got already?
I've got 6 at the moment.
And yours are uncapped?
Mine are uncapped. My caps are uncapped.
Yeah.
And you can spend as many of them you can spend as many of them as you like in principle on any given roll?
In principle, yes.
Take at least one. We need you to get at least
one. 1 point will give you an extra dice. So.
Go on then. Roll another one. Oh, and that was a 3, so that was a success. Okay, there you go.
Okay. All right. By dint of great effort, you managed to stay on the road, even though you guys didn't really think to put in windscreen wipers or a windshield for that matter, really.
So we're getting rained on anyway.
Yeah, or headlights. So it's a bit of a trick, but you do manage to stay on the road. When the lightning is directly overhead or striking in the fields around you, the engine does falter a bit, but you manage to keep it going somehow. You don't really know what you're doing. Maybe it's just the innate timidity of your driving that is making it work. But after you two have swapped out once, walking alongside the vehicle, the rain starts to slacken off, and the grey clouds seem to sort of fade away, and the sun comes out. there's still a bit of a breeze, so it's not warm, but where the sun's on you and you've got a bit of shelter, it's a lot nicer now. But the road is now very muddy and it's much slower going. So I take it you both are walking alongside again now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you both make perception survival rolls, please? I think.
How many dice are in our pool?
No, you've got no points at the moment.
1 success.
2 successes.
Okay. So it's hard to see much either side of the road. The old ancient hedgerows have turned into pretty dense, thick tangles either side of the road as well. But Anton spots something sort of partially buried in the overgrown hedge, pulls a few branches aside, and there's an old algae-stained sign saying Strath Veterinary Clinic next turning. And despite the turning being sort of covered up by more of the hedge growth, John figures out where the turning is if you want to stop. I mean, you don't have to. You could just keep going and make time.
We could pick up some more in there. And I'm not opposed to eating kibble if I gotta.
Probably some medical supplies there too. If it's a veterinary clinic, it might be worth it.
Okay, well, I'm game if you guys are.
Okay. Well, the van's still got plenty of grunt, and the hedge has just kind of grown out in the way, so you're able to use the van to push through the hedge. Snap it.
Sorry. Sorry.
Snapping off branches and coming out the other side with a whole bunch of brambles and trailing mutant bindweed sort of clinging all over the vehicle. There's an old private road which is in much better nick than the main road that you've been on, though it is overgrown with moss, with a few trees either side, a little sort of grounds which has been taken over by wild growth. And then at the end of that little private road is a squarish, modernish building with a flat sort of single slant roof going all the way over it, overhanging slightly. So many leaves and things have built up in the gutters over the years that there are several small shrubs making a serious go at alfresco living around the outside of the building, and it's covered in a fringe of vines and brambles. But the building itself seems largely intact. None of the windows are broken. Doesn't seem too much like anyone's been here in a while.
Okay, well, let's go check her out.
Right,
So yeah, Betsy will attempt a sort of 14-point turn to actually back the van. I'm assuming that the van has doors at the back, right? Like some kind of door. So she'll back it up so that we can throw stuff if we have to from the inside.
Yeah,
into the back of the van.
Yeah, everything you piled up in the back of the van has settled slightly due to all the bumps in the road, sort of shaking everything up. So there's a little bit of room. So you will be able to carry a little bit more stuff, or maybe strap it to the ceiling. But yeah, you get everything backed up.
Okay.
I'll
All right.
gently knock on the front door.
Yeah, we'll go take a look.
Okay. Yeah, it's big, thick, double-layered glass doors on the front. Though the exterior is covered in leaf mold and algae, you can only kind of see through it to the inside. The interior looks relatively clean, though there's a thin layer of dust over everything and looks like cobwebs in the corner. Behind the algae and mold is a sign that says dogs, cats, and exotic animals.
Okay. Well, is the door locked or unlocked? Or?
the door is unlocked, and you make a perception survival roll, please.
Ooh, 1 and a 5. That's a nice roll.
So that's what, 3 successes?
Yeah, 3.
I got
Only
no.
John, because he was the one opening the door.
Okay.
So as you go to open it, you notice that the lock on the handle is heavily scratched, like someone picked it or was trying to pick it.
Okay.
And the metal's slightly shiny. It hasn't gotten dirtied up again yet. So that was relatively recently. But the door has been left open. So,
all right. I'll head in there.
Open it up. The sort of air equalizes in pressure between the inside and outside of the building, sending flurries of dust everywhere inside. There's a big, long reception desk to the right-hand side with a couple of computer consoles on it, and what looks like a waiting area with a bunch of leather seats all laid out. The leather covers have been stripped off a couple of the seats, so there are bits of foam everywhere where someone's torn it all up.
All right.
There are 2 corridors stretching off to the right-hand side.
Is the computer terminal locked? Like password protect?
You step around and press it, it boots up. You got options, like patient records, financial records, appointments, calendar, all of those kind of things.
There's nothing about like location or stock of medicine.
Not on this console, but there is a second console.
All right. Check that one out.
Okay. That one fires up. This one has a record of stock, materials, and an order sheet.
So what do they still have in stock?
Well, you don't know if it's up to date, but when it was last
Probably not.
up to date, it looks like they abruptly used a whole bunch of supplies in 2077. But the records get a bit sort of haphazard within a couple of weeks of those entries, and then they just stop.
While he's accessing the computer, did we hear that hum of a fusion core or something going off? Because the power suddenly had to come from somewhere.
With the consoles, it seems like they've got internal power, and they've just been in sort of standby mode or off for however long it's been.
So they're not connected to an outlet or anything?
They're not connected to an outlet. No.
Oh, that's good loot then.
Yep.
All right. Well, which way do we want to go, guys? Right or left?
Someone once told me always left.
No, right is right.
There we go.
Which way, Western Man?
Betsy's cuter, so we go right.
No. I should point out. I'm going to stay in the cab. I don't think we want to leave this, abandon this vehicle, do we?
Okay.
So she's yelling that from the cab.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, folks. Right is right. What's the matter with you?
All right, so we'll go right first.
Okay. Down the right hand of the 2 corridors, there's several examination rooms off it each side, and then at the end of the hallway is a pharmacy, and then this corridor branches off to the left, where it seems to join up with the other one.
Well, just
check out.
Way down, open each examination room, look in.
Each one has scales for weighing animals, a smaller one up on an examination table, and a larger one for larger animals. Down to the side, quite a lot of them have ancient bloody rags in them. There's the skeletal remains of a human corpse sprawled on the examination table in one of the examination rooms. There's a bunch of sharps, so scalpels, all of that sort of thing. And there's a manual of veterinary care.
Are there any I don't know if you guys have big dogs, but when you go to the vets, they usually have some really big knives that are for cutting leashes and cutting collars if they're too tight. Do they have any of those?
They have sort of those angled bandage scissors, but with a kind of ratchet on them for cutting those sorts of things.
Yeah, grab a pair of those because that'd be useful for something for cutting straps and that.
Yeah.
I'll grab the book too.
Yeah. Okay. Dr. Littlejohn's Manual of Veterinary Care.
I'm gonna check out the pharmacy.
Okay. There is a keypad closing off the pharmacy chamber.
All right, I know how to do this. 1, 1, 1, 1.
Detective, you know how to break into places, right?
Yeah, I can take a check at it.
Okay, make an intelligence science roll to hotwire the door.
Wow, got a 2, which is a tag skill for me, so that makes it 2 successes.
Okay, so that's another chit. Okay, yeah, you carefully lever open the keypad, only to find that someone else has already been in here and hotwired everything. The interior is a molten glob of burnt electronics, and just out of curiosity, you reach out and push the door with your finger, and it swings open.
Okay.
Damn it! All right.
Are we
Told you. Good at breaking into places.
Okay. Pretty much everything seems to have been turfed over and looted in here. There's a whole bunch of empty medical containers. But you can search through to see if anything's left if you want.
Sure.
One person to lead and someone to help.
What skill?
Survival?
Yep. Perception.
Perception, which one?
Yeah, it'll be perception survival.
I've got an 11 in that.
Yep, I'll help.
And it's also a tag skill, so.
Yeah, I can get one for helping.
How many points are in our pool again?
You currently have 3.
All right. I will take 1.
Okay.
3 successes.
And I got 1.
3 successes and 1, so that's 4. So that's 3 back into the pool. Okay. All right. Well, you don't find the actual gun for it, but you do find 6 syringe shots filled with some kind of tranquilizer, probably ketamine.
All right. Do you want to write those down, Anton, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I'll. We can. There's still proper syringes, right? Like you can use.
Oh yeah, you can still just stab someone with them if you want, but
Yeah.
they're designed to be fired out of a syringe gun. Under some of the discarded boxes and bags and things, Downs finds a dog muzzle that has been crudely hammered into shape to make like a Hannibal Lecter mask for someone's face. and there's a busted bone saw next to it that someone has used to cut through the bindings and buckles either side of it.
Okay. That's interesting, but I don't think we want the mask.
No.
I'll take the mask. We might need to like scare the shit out of somebody.
Okay, you can take it.
Or muzzle T-shirts character.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop him from throwing debris at people, though.
No, it'll just stop him from yelling at them while he does it.
You also managed to scare up a veterinary stim pack. Whether that's safe to use on humans, you don't know.
Okay, that's all right. I'm gonna take that because I also have a pet. So
Yeah. And a tin of milk formula powder for cats.
Antoine, you should add that to the group food stuff.
Cat milk. Lasts almost as long as dog milk.
Promised me dog or higher.
All right, well, let's keep searching.
Did you know dog milk lasts longer than any other kind of milk? Because no fucker wants to drink it. Right, but that's the pharmacy cleared out.
Yep, so keep searching around.
All right. So on the other side of that corridor, it ends in a sort of long-term stay and recovery room, and there are more examination rooms. The examination rooms are largely the same. The long-term stay is a larger room that seems to stretch across the whole back of the clinic, and there are many, many cages back here. The doors are all open. There is a section for exotic pets that still seems to have power because there are heat lamps and things still on in there.
All right, go look around in there.
There's a lot of dead spiders and snakes and lizards, but one of the terrariums is smashed and broken, seemingly from the inside.
Okay.
What is there a name or any kind of is there a name on the terrarium? Or like
yeah, just a sec.
Yeah, Mr. Budkin.
I'm kind of worried this reptile plus well, we haven't seen any FEV yet.
I asked Junkyard, hey Junkyard, you smell anything?
He
You
just
smell anything?
he growls and sniffs around. Yeah, he probably can still smell a couple of centuries old animal stuff, and there might be some dog biscuits somewhere. So he's definitely very keen on that. Yes, the name on the tank says Dave Jackson's Chameleon.
Oh no. Okay, I wouldn't. Anton
No
wouldn't.
meta knowledge.
I had a feeling.
It looks like something broke out of that. If we have everything that we think we want, maybe it'd be a good idea to get out of here.
Well, we haven't checked the left corridor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
More important, I'd like to know where the power is coming from for in here.
It looks like there's a Diddy sort of fusion generator similar to the ones running the consoles out the front, because the lights don't take that much power. So,
well, it's still worth tracking down if I can find where the
it's an individual power battery on each terrarium.
That's fine. I'll take it.
Yeah.
You guys are probably right. I mean, it's just a chameleon. What could it hurt?
I'll start unplugging the power.
I don't know how a chameleon can bust through a glass terrarium, though. Actually, would I even know what a chameleon is?
Probably not, actually.
Are
Yeah,
chameleons?
they're just little lizards. It probably you know, maybe the glass broke from the outside. It's hard to really tell. I agree. It chameleon isn't great.
Yeah, so in one of the examination rooms is actually a little break room from the look of it. There's a refrigerator in the corner, but it's long lost any power that it once had.
Well, how many of these little power cells do I get if I collect them up?
9.
Because they might be useful.
Yeah. Could probably jerry-rig them with a little bit of work into extra ammunition for a laser weapon.
That's what I was thinking, because somebody's been shooting a lot of his laser shots.
Yeah.
Well, if there's nothing else here, and Junkyard doesn't smell anything funny,
Yeah.
I'll let him lead me around in case there's treats or something that he can find that he wants.
What's his perception?
Let's see, where do I find that? Yeah, it just says keen senses. Did he reduce the perception test by 1? Doesn't give
Okay, for you, but it doesn't give any stats. Okay, I will just.
I assume it's better than a person's.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he scurries over to the fridge and starts scratching at it, but behind it, not actually at the door of the fridge.
All right. Well, pull the fridge up.
All right. There are a couple of big sacks of doggy kibble back here.
Oh, okay.
Well, worst case scenario, we
Pull 'em
got
out.
food.
Yep. Pull them out.
Um,
So 2 bags of dog kibble?
two sacks of dog kibble. Mrs. Woofton's beef and vegetable, and Mrs. Woofton's chicken and rice for dogs. Unfit for human consumption is in large friendly letters on the cover, along with a picture of a very posh woman with her nose up in the air.
How big are the bags, like kilograms wise?
They're like 10 kilos each, so that's a lot of kibble. The chicken and rice one also has emblazoned on it, now with charcoal.
There we go. Well, I grabbed those up for sure.
Well, if these are not fit for human consumption, or
I have a dog. He's been
oh,
following us
right,
the whole
yeah,
time.
yes, right. Okay, maybe one bag is enough.
I mean, it's unfit for human consumption by pre-war standards.
Yes,
Okay,
I'm bringing
yeah.
both bags.
Yeah. Okay.
Anton's
so
not the brightest.
you drag the bags back and and pile them in.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, no.
No, it seems like you've got everything of worth out of here. So back in the van and drive on.
Okay.
As the mystery machine leaves the clinic, the camera pans back and lingers on a bright green glowing chameleon clinging onto the rear bumper. Right. Okay. Can the 2 people walking alongside and the driver... Well, actually, everyone. Can everyone make a perception survival roll, please? The difficulty is 2.
Yeah, I only got 1.
I got 2.
Let me check.
I think we've got 5 points in the pool if you need it.
Yeah, you've got 5 points.
Got 3, so that's a 9. So I got 1 success.
Okay.
Yep, 1 success.
Okay. So who got 2?
No, just
I
Anton.
Okay. All right. So as you carry on driving, it shouldn't be too much longer before you reach the village. But the hedge thins out here a bit, as if it's been trampled or driven through or something. Beyond it is some fairly spaced out woodland of quite mature trees, but something has tipped over a whole bunch of the trees, leaving craters in the ground and the tree roots sticking up in the air. And from a bunch of these trees, someone has set up tarps to form like tents and shelters. So it looks like there was an encampment here, but there doesn't seem to be anyone there now. It's a bit eerie, the wind flapping through the tarps.
Well, let's take a look around. If there's no one here, well, I'll grab those tarps. You never know when you could use a tarp.
Is everyone agreed on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's eerie. It's weird. There's blast marks from lasers here and there. You find a few spent bullet casings on the ground, but no bodies. There's some campfires that look like they were just allowed to kind of burn out. So there's some sort of blackened mess tins and so on some of these. Here and there are crossbow bolts stuck into trees as well. There was some kind of fight here, but someone, while they didn't police the brass or loot the camp particularly thoroughly, they certainly got rid of all the bodies. So it's all a bit peculiar. If you want to do you want to take the time to fully check over the camp and loot it?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can get 6 big tarps, which you can strap to the roof of the van. You find 21 fusion cells for laser weapons, so Anton can
21.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
So Anton can have a bit more ammo for his laser gun.
Enough we could get another laser gun and still have ammo.
Yeah, I thought it was like shots per single cell.
Wait, ammo is ammo. So
Okay.
But a cell might contain lots of shots. So this is basically 21 shots spread across several cells.
Yeah, that's how my other.
You want to write that down, Anton?
I got it.
Yeah. There's a couple of battered army helmets on the ground here and there.
Oh,
So you can grab those if you want. You want a helmet? Okay.
Yeah. Betsy, you should probably grab one too.
One second. Oh, wait, it's not armor, is it? It's apparel. Okay, the helmet protects the head for 2 physical and 2 energy.
Yeah, I'll take one of those.
We make sure Betsy gets one too, even though she didn't answer.
They're not. They're not Radcoat. They're not Radcoat's pattern helmets. So somebody else's pattern, but you don't know what. You also find a miraculously unsmashed jar of pickled carrots and a couple of bottles of Nuka-Cola.
Anton, you want to add those to the food list?
On it.
Nuka-Cola original and Nuka-Cola blackcurrant. There are some deep wheel tracks in the mud between the trees, like some very, very big vehicle or several very big vehicles in a line drove through here and then looped back to the road. But
What about that other faction that the Radcoats were at war with, the Moral Army?
The Moral Army, yeah, they're normally up north. You wouldn't expect to see them this far south, but
All right.
maybe it could have been a deep patrol or something. It's possible.
Nothing of their pattern, though.
No.
Yeah.
All right. And then you make the rest of your way to the village. So, because we've got a couple of people feeling peaky, and because we're missing the other players, I will call it soon, but let's get your actual proper car put together first, shall we?
Okay.
So, yeah, you arrive at the village. Several of the older masters, whether it is they, descend out through the shield and come to do the task of building the vehicle in exchange for all the spares, which was the deal after all. So yeah, they're dressed like monks, but they wear gas masks with shaded lenses on the glass, so you can't see their faces. Their monks' habits are over sort of sealed environment suits, like hazmat suits. So they're all very mysterious, and they pass their voices through some kind of electronic voice filter as well, so they all sound the same. It's a bit unsettling. The villagers act like these are like angels of the Lord or something, come down. They treat them with an enormous amount of reverence and fear. And they don't much engage in idle chit-chat. They just ask you what you want, and then they set about building it as best they can. So, let's see.
While we're talking to them and they're working on that, I asked them, we also found in another place a couple of these computers. Do you think these are worth trading us for some supplies? They operate. I mean, they have nothing for information on them, but...
Yes, give us the location, and we will provide you with some rations.
Well, the location is right in the truck here, because I brought them with us.
Yes, these look good. They will help us immensely. Very well. We shall provide you with a week's food and water each. Okay, so you got 7 days worth of food, pills, and water. Vehicles. Okay. Okay, so the Dune buggy isn't going to carry all of you. Standard car, probably not quite big enough. So you probably want a sort of sedan-sized thing. A bus, you could go for a camper van or
like a
Winnebago or a
big ass school bus with some heavy friggin' axles under it.
Put chainsaws out the side and all that.
But the buses are built differently than camper vans, like because they're built on two metal I-beams, just like a semi. They got some pulling power and they can take a lot of shit on them.
Okay. Right. So, luckily for you, they know where to find a bus, but it is a short bus, so that will have to do. So I will work out the stats. Yeah, so they take over a barn in the village and like toss out all the straw and everything to make room for working. And they bring down some gleaming white robots from wherever their base is and instruct them to set about the work. Okay. So, starting on the basis of the bus and leaving room for cargo as well. So it's quite spacious enough for all of you. Do you want to make any modifications to the vehicle beyond getting it working?
Off-road capability.
Okay, so
Can we get some hatches put in? Like if we have to shoot?
yeah, just a sec.
Sorry.
Options. Okay, so sorry, what did you say, Mal? What was it you wanted?
Off-road capability.
Off-road
It's one of the
capability,
things
yeah.
we can't. It's one of the few things we can't
Yeah.
do ourselves later.
Okay, so all right, so they get the bus, they strip it back, start with the main frame of it, beef it up, beef up the suspension, put in some big off-road tires, and put an extra set of wheels on to help balance the load. So it now has the rough terrain capability. It'll go slower, but it's not going to have issues on rough terrain. Now, I think everyone should get an option that they want put into it. So Anton wanted firing ports, basically, yeah?
Yeah.
Who's being bombed?
That's just living in the dystopian city that I live in.
If he's putting firing ports in, you kind of need armor to go with firing ports, or
Yeah.
ports aren't any use. Because if not, you just stick your hand out the window.
Yeah, well, they won't be able to see you and aim at you directly, so that's something. Okay, so yeah, they cover over some of the more exposed windows or shrink them down, turn them into firing slits or slots. So it's now an enclosed vehicle, which also makes it harder to destroy.
You guys seem pretty scientifically advanced. Could you put in like some navigational assistance, steering assistance, something that'll make it easier to drive if you're not very experienced or good at driving?
Let's see. Yes, they can rebalance it for you. So when you spend action points for dice when driving the bus, you get 2 dice for each one that you buy, not just one. So you'll get 2 bonus dice for spending 1 point, 4 bonus dice for spending 3 points, and 6 bonus dice for spending 6 points. Right, so that's rebalanced. Okay. Oh, we lost.
Yep.
We lost our friend, Betsy. Unfortunately.
Betsy
On the right.
for a nice coat of paint.
Fuzzy dice and frills.
Or perhaps slightly more comfortable cab.
Yeah, nicer. Oh, there's.
Yeah. Welcome back. What does Betsy want to add to the vehicle?
That's such a rash question to ask. A part of me wants to go. It wants a kind of an orange Few air freshener, but is it? What would she actually want? I think. I think she'd probably focus less on strict practicality. Well, she would focus on practicalities, but not necessarily martial practicalities. So it would be making sure that there were things like storage space, bedding, beds, etc., etc. So she would be concentrating on the.
So we guessed right.
Well, I was
said that was what you do.
I was going to say a cow catcher, but no. Okay, fine.
So we're gonna have the most luxurious wilderness vehicle.
Okay, so comfortable, and storage. Okay.
You have to take one.
We need to talk more.
So yes, comfortable quarters. Okay, so I think John's got to be muted for a sec. So back to Martha. You are out of internal space for you're out of chassis things to bolt-ons. You can only do external additions or internal additions. So external additions are extra hard point, battering ram, blades and spikes, additional headlights to allow you to sort of blind and so on other people. And internal options are engineering workstation, cooking workstation, medical workstation, a workstation of some kind, hit locker, impact protection, turbo system, radio communications suite, weapon locker. So that's your options, basically. But if you can come up with something else that you think I should let you have, that's fine too. Anyone?
Would they consider sticking a turret on top?
They don't have any weapons for it, but they could put a turret on top for you. Yeah.
So that would be the hard point.
Yeah, that'd give you an extra hard point. So,
all right.
I think some sort of blade or ram or something clear debris and stuff from in front of the vehicle as we drive.
Oh, the cow catcher.
I didn't want to call it a cow catcher because it's not really what I was thinking about, but
Oh, never mind.
like a big dozer blade. You know what I mean? Something where you can.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's all these hedgerows and stuff. It'd be useful to be able to, if you got to get off the road, be able to just crush through a hedgerow. And they could weld it right to the I-beams of the frame.
So the only space left is for internals, and you've got 3 spaces for internal stuff. So it's workstations, additional living space for additional passengers. I think you've got enough because it starts with 6 space for that. Kit lockers, impact protection, turbo, radio suite, weapon locker. Those are the options, or something else if you want to come up with something else.
Was the dozer blade one of the things we can put on there?
Yeah, it's on there now. Yeah,
whatever. I don't know what they call it. So
It might be smart to have some impact protection in case we.
Is that like armor?
Internal armor, so when you bounce around, you take less damage.
Yeah, so if the vehicle gets rolled or something.
Yeah. Okay, so passenger protection. Okay, 2 more spaces.
Thinking, well, can we communicate with, if we got a radio suite, does that allow us to do more than just our pit boys? Like, can we communicate with the masters with our pit boys and the vault? Or
with a proper radio suite and the right information, yeah, you could connect at a much longer distance to lots of people.
I have an idea for one thing I didn't hear on there. How about a water purifier to catch rainwater? Since it is a bus, it's got a big roof. Catch rainwater and purify it, because that would be uber useful.
Yeah.
Ooh. Connect to the.
Okay, so radio suite and water purifier. Okay.
Are we attached? I didn't commit to radio suite, but does everyone want that, or should we?
It sounds like a good idea.
The only other thing I could think of would be to have a mechanical repair station so we can actually keep this thing on the road.
Yeah, that might be.
Contained.
Yeah, like some sort of workbench, because then you could work on your guns on it, or just a place with tools. And we had that big stock of tools we took out anyway.
Yeah. All right, so workbench instead of the radio then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, yeah, it takes about a week to put the whole thing together and wire it all up, because they're very meticulous. But it seems to be ready to go.
During this time, are any of the monks outside that one could chat with?
They're pretty tight-lipped, but you can try to weasel some information out of them.
That might be, Betsy's probably more personable than Martha. So I'll just ask. So, what do you guys do out here?
We maintain and retain technology. We watch over our flock.
Oh, you guys have a lot of technology. Do you share it? Do you teach it to other people?
The world has done evil things with technology, so we who are enlightened must retain the technology and use it to protect our flock.
You guys should come down to the vault sometime. Show us a few things.
Now that we know of its existence, or rather have it confirmed to us, perhaps we shall come visit.
Oh yeah, well, show you guys around. It'll be great.
And he goes back to his work.
Yeah, and when we get a chance to speak with Martha, Martha, do you realize that these guys are armed militants? They might not take visiting the vault quite the way you meant it.
Well, I mean, they don't seem like crooks or anything. They helping
How
us
do
with
you
our.
know?
I mean,
Right.
you don't think.
And most of the people in the vault are pretty easy pickings if someone just broke through the front doors, or worse yet, someone opened the front doors and allowed them in. It wouldn't take long to gun down every member of the vault.
You don't think they would do that?
Yes,
Do
I
you?
think they would do that.
Well, they've helped us so far, and we're strangers.
They've helped us. They've helped us because we gave them stuff. I think keeping the information tight would be a better idea.
Martha looks very shaken by this idea that someone could hurt people in the vault.
Okay, so I said we were going to finish early because people are feeling a bit peaky, and I'm not feeling great myself. So we'll just do experience points, and we can level up between sessions or at the start of the next session. So you're level 2, some of you now?
Some are 2, some are 1.
Okay, so getting the vehicle is a major quest. What else did we do this session? So you traveled back. Okay. You survived the storm without any trouble. You investigated the clinic. You investigated the camp. You killed the robot.
And the ghoul.
And the ghoul, yeah. Robot. Single ghoul. Aren't you proud of yourselves?
This is a tough ghoul.
That's completed the deal with the Older Masters. Have I forgotten anything that we accomplished this session?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, and Mike gets a bonus XP for recapping the session. So let me just work out how much you get each. It's 4 players, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, you get 65 experience points each. Except Anton, who gets 66.
I don't imagine I'm remotely there. What is the cutoff going from 2 to 3?
I'm just
300.
looking.
It's 300 for 3rd level.
Yeah, I didn't think I was there. Okay, cool.
100 for 2nd level and 300 for 3rd.
Yeah, so someone... Did anyone go from 1 to 2, though?
No. I leveled up last
No?
time.
Okay. So everyone here at the moment is level 2.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, nobody went up, but you got a fair old chunk of experience points there. All right, so I will write up a full proper sheet for the bus now that I have the stats down. I'll make that available on the Discord. And let's wrap it there for tonight. So next week is Zombicide with T-shirt. Week after that will be session 5, which will be you traveling to wherever it is that the vault wants to send you. And then the session after that for us, which will then be another 2 weeks, will be the finale. So see everyone in 2 weeks for more Fallout. And
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Sounds
All
good.
right.
Right.
Thank you.
Later.
Bye.
Yeah.
T-
Real Grim. What are we gonna do?
Grim. That's how it looks.
I'll take Grim right now.
I am the Grim Reaper. With Grim.
The boss is